Hello, and welcome back to Modern Wealth Wisdom, the podcast that unearths timeless financial principles for today's world. I'm your host, Davidson, and today we're diving deep into a topic that has shaped prosperity for generations: 7 ancient Jewish money rules for modern wealth. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly build wealth while others live paycheck to paycheck, no matter how much they earn? Here's something that might surprise you. It's not about how much money you make. It's about following principles that have been tested for thousands of years. The Jewish community has survived persecution, exile, and countless economic disasters throughout history. Yet, they've consistently built and rebuilt wealth across generations. How? Through 7 money rules that go against everything modern society teaches you about finances. These aren't just theories, they're battle-tested principles that have created more millionaires per capita than any other cultural group in America. Warren Buffett follows them, so does Mark Cuban. And today you're going to learn exactly what they are. But here's the controversial truth: most Americans are doing the exact opposite of these rules, which is why 78% live paycheck to paycheck. Today that changes for you. Let's jump straight into rule number 1: live below your means. Ever notice how some people always seem to have money left over, while others are constantly chasing their financial tails? The difference isn't how much they earn, it's how they spend. The remaining 20-30% is sacred. Part goes to savings, part to investments, part to emergencies. Sounds impossible? Try this exercise: pull your last 3 months of bank statements and highlight every non-essential expense in red. That daily 6 to coffee, the 180 monthly unused streaming services, another 50th impulse target runs, add a 300 more. Suddenly you'll discover 500, the 600 bleeding out every month without purpose. That's enough to start an emergency fund or invest in index funds like the S&P 500. The difference between wealth builders and paycheck prisoners isn't the big purchases, it's the small leaks nobody notices. The secret isn't cutting everything and living like a monk. It's spending consciously on your priorities. Love travel? Cut elsewhere and invest in experiences. Value good food? Reduce clothing expenses and enjoy your special dinners. The problem isn't spending money, it's spending without thinking, without purpose, without control. When you live below your means, every purchase becomes a conscious decision, not an automatic impulse. You stop being a slave to your desires and become the director of your financial future. But this is just the foundation, because saving money means nothing if you fall into the trap that most Americans accept as normal, but is actually the biggest wealth killer disguised as convenience. This brings us to rule number 2: avoid debt whenever possible. Let me be blunt. In Jewish tradition, debt is dangerous. Proverbs says, "The borrower is servant to the lender," and if you've ever owed money to a bank, you know exactly what that slavery feels like. In ancient Jewish law, charging interest to community members was forbidden. Why? Because profiting from someone's hardship was seen as fundamentally wrong. Today, credit cards, personal loans, and car financing trap millions in cycles that seem impossible to escape. For Jewish families, carrying debt isn't just a financial risk, it's a spiritual one. It robs you of freedom, choices, and even sleep. Think about it: when you owe money, you're not really working for yourself. You're working for your creditors first, then hoping there's something left over. Here's the harsh reality: the average American over 40 carries more than $6,000 in credit card debt at 20% interest. That's financial quicksand. Meanwhile, Jewish communities often prioritize saving first, spending later. Many families avoid car loans entirely, choosing reliable used vehicles paid in full. Want to break free? Start here. List every debt you owe with balance, interest rate, and minimum payment. Just seeing it all clearly reduces anxiety and gives you a battle plan. Then use the avalanche method: pay off the highest interest debt first, while making minimums on the rest. But here's the crucial step: cut off the source. If credit cards are your weakness, freeze or cancel them. Switch to debit or cash until you rebuild control. Start building a $1,000 emergency fund so you have fewer reasons to reach for credit when life happens. There's nothing wrong with being careful. In fact, in Jewish culture, it's a virtue. Freedom isn't just about having money, it's about not owing it to anyone else. But avoiding debt is only half the battle. The other half is something most Americans completely ignore until it's too late: Now, I'm curious, are you finding this helpful so far? I hope so, because we're just getting started. Before we dive into the next rules, drop a quick comment or share this episode, letting me know you're enjoying this. It helps me bring you more content like this. Let's keep going. Rule number 3, prioritize education and knowledge. There's a reason Jewish communities are known for resilience. It's not magic, it's mindset. And one of the most powerful money rules in that mindset is this: never stop learning. In Jewish tradition, education isn't just for the young, it's a lifelong responsibility. The Talmud teaches, if you give someone money, you support them for a day, teach them wisdom, and you support them for a lifetime. Here's what's dangerous after 40. Most Americans assume they already know enough about money, but financial ignorance is expensive. Studies show Americans over 40 are prime targets for scams and poor retirement planning, yet few actively learn about money after their 30s. Jewish immigrants arriving in America in the early 1900s often worked brutal labor jobs but prioritized education for their children. Within 1 or 2 generations, many moved into law, medicine, finance, and business. Today, Jewish American families invest heavily in adult education, community seminars, and financial literacy programs. Start with just 15 minutes daily of financial learning. Read books like The Millionaire Next Door or I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Listen to podcasts like The Dave Ramsey Show or Chat with Traders. Take online courses through Coursera or your local community college. But here's the key: teach what you learn. Share financial insights with your spouse, kids, or friends. Teaching reinforces your own learning and helps others grow with you. Keep a financial journal tracking what you discover each week. Over time, this builds unshakable confidence and clarity. Jewish culture sees knowledge as portable wealth, something no one can take from you. In times of uncertainty, it's the one investment that always grows. But knowledge without action is worthless. And the next rule shows you exactly where to put that knowledge to work. Rule number 4, diversify ruthlessly. Thousands of years before Wall Street existed, Jewish sages were already giving this advice: don't put everything in one basket. The Talmud says, divide your money in 3 parts, 1 in land, 1 in business, and 1 kept in reserve. What does that mean today? You need balance. Some money in real estate or tangible assets, some in investments or business ventures, and some sitting safely ready for emergencies or opportunities. Jewish communities learned the hard way that you can't control the world, but you can control how prepared you are. The 2008 financial crisis proved that having all assets in real estate could destroy a portfolio overnight. The dot-com crash showed the same for tech stocks. Many Jewish American families follow an informal version of this ancient wisdom: owning property, running small businesses or professional practices, and maintaining strong cash reserves. It's not about maximizing returns, it's about minimizing catastrophic loss. Here's your modern rule of thirds. 1/3 in growth investments like stocks and index funds. 1/3 in stability like real estate and bonds. 1/3 in liquidity like cash and money market accounts. If over 50% of your wealth is tied to one category, like your house or your job, start reallocating gradually. Stress test your portfolio by asking, if my biggest asset dropped 30% tomorrow, would I still be okay? If the answer is no, you're over-concentrated and vulnerable. Diversification isn't just smart, it's ancient wisdom. In a world that changes fast, the smartest way to stay steady is to spread your strength. But spreading your money is only effective if you know exactly where it's going, which brings us to a practice most Americans completely avoid. Now I'm curious, which of these first 4 rules hit home for you? Have you experienced the pain of debt or the relief of living below your means? Share your story in the comments or on our social media. Our community learns so much from each other's experiences. Let's move to rule number 5, track every dollar. Let me tell you something that sounds simple, but is incredibly rare. Most people have no idea where their money goes. In Jewish tradition, you're expected to reflect daily, to literally give an account of your choices, and that includes every dollar you spend. The Talmud teaches a person must examine their deeds and set aside time daily to review them. When you track your spending, you're not just managing money, you're managing discipline, awareness, and purpose. Think of it like this: your money is a soldier. It needs orders. Otherwise, it wanders off and disappears, leaving you wondering why you're still broke at month's end. Jewish business owners are known for meticulous bookkeeping, even in small family operations. Ultra-Orthodox communities may live on modest incomes, but because they track every cent, they stretch every dollar. Meanwhile, over 65% of Americans don't follow a budget, and most feel anxious about money. Choose a system you can stick to. Old school notebook. Perfect. Excel or Google Sheets. Great. Start with a 7-day money audit. Write down every single expense, yes, even the coffee. Sort expenses by category: weekly housing, food, transportation, entertainment. Look at the proportions. Set weekly check-ins every Sunday night. Spend 10 minutes reviewing what came in and what went out. When you track your money, you take back your power. It's not just accounting, it's ownership, and ownership is the foundation of wealth. But here's where most people get it backwards. They think wealth is about keeping everything for themselves. This leads us to rule number 6, give generously, build community. Here's a truth that might surprise you. One of the oldest Jewish financial rules is this: always give, even when it feels like you can't afford it. But here's the twist: giving in Jewish tradition isn't just kindness, it's strategy. The Hebrew word for charity is tzedakah, but it doesn't mean charity in the Western sense. It means justice or righteousness. Proverbs says, tzedakah saves from death. Many Jewish families believe that giving doesn't make you poorer. It keeps you connected, protected, and part of something bigger. Even poor people who survive on charity are required to give charity themselves. Why? Because when you give to your family, community, or those in need, you create a network of support that you may one day depend on yourself. Jewish families often raise children with a giving routine, like putting coins in a tzedakah box every Friday before Shabbat. In times of need, strong Jewish communities provide mutual aid, help with medical bills, education costs, or business recovery. Americans over 40 often delay giving until I make more money. But the Jewish model says, start now, set a giving rule, commit to 10% of your income, or start with 2 to 3% and build up. It could go to churches, food banks, shelters, or even family members in need. Make it routine by automating monthly donations to causes you believe in. Treat it like any other bill, non-negotiable. Involve your family in creating a giving plan. Let kids help choose causes. This builds shared purpose and values. The world tells you to get more, but Jewish wisdom teaches give more, and you'll never be alone. Because the wealth that matters most isn't just in your bank account, it's in your relationships, legacy, and community. But none of this matters if you don't prepare for what's coming next. Our final principle, rule number 7, plan for the future. Let me ask you something: if something happened to you tomorrow, would your family be financially okay? Jewish wisdom doesn't leave that to chance. Proverbs says, the wise see danger ahead and prepare. The fool keeps going and suffers for it. This is where real financial peace starts, not just building wealth, but protecting it. For thousands of years, Jewish families have built legacies through long-term thinking, planning ahead, writing wills, passing down wisdom, not just money. You don't wait for a crisis to get ready. You get ready so the crisis never destroys you. Many Jewish families have multi-generational plans: college funds for grandchildren, life insurance policies, even burial plots purchased in advance. Americans over 40 often delay estate planning, but one accident can create chaos without proper documentation. Get your legal documents in order: will, power of attorney, healthcare directive, and beneficiary designations. Build or revisit your retirement plan. Maximize IRA and 401k contributions. Review projected income versus expenses and consider working with a fiduciary financial advisor. Set up an emergency binder with passwords, account information, insurance policies, and important contacts. Create a single physical place your family can access if needed. Most importantly, talk to your family. Let them know your plans and share your values along with your assets. Planning for the future isn't fear, it's love. Love for your spouse, children, and legacy. When your financial life is in order, you don't just feel rich, you feel ready. These 7 rules have helped Jewish families build and preserve wealth for millennia. They've survived economic crashes, political upheaval, and social change. Why? Because they're based on timeless principles, not trendy strategies. The choice is yours: keep doing what everyone else does and get the same broke results, or follow proven wisdom that's created generational wealth for thousands of years, your financial future starts with your very next decision. So, here's my final question to you. Rate this podcast from 1 to 10. What score do these time-tested principles deserve in your life? Are you tired of feeling stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle? Are you ready to take control of your financial future using time-tested wisdom? Then I invite you to become part of something truly special. We're building a vibrant community of listeners who are committed to applying these ancient money rules for modern wealth. Imagine being surrounded by like-minded individuals, sharing insights, celebrating successes, and supporting each other on this incredible journey. This isn't just about financial tips. It's about transforming your mindset and your life. Join our Modern Wealth Wisdom community and gain access to exclusive content, deeper dives into these principles, live Q&A sessions with me, and a supportive network to help you stay motivated and accountable. Let's build a prosperous future together, grounded in principles that have stood the test of time. Thank you for joining me on Modern Wealth Wisdom. Until next time, may your journey be filled with wisdom, purpose, and prosperity.